What's going on, guys? Nasser here, and I thought it'd be fun to do a top 10 gateway horror novels video. It's somewhat a top 10. These aren't really in any specific order. I just grabbed them off my shelves. I thought it'd be pretty fun with October coming up, and I know there's a lot of people that might not necessarily be fans of horror novels or might not read a lot of them, but might read something in October. And so I decided just to pull a few off my shelf that I really like and I think would be good for anybody that's just getting into horror, is not too familiar with it, and might not know where to start. I've got a mix of things that are indie published, mainstream, and also maybe like midstream as well. And these aren't really in any particular order, but I did want to start off with this book called They'll Get You by Mark Pellegrini, who, full disclosure, is a friend of mine, but I really dug this book. It's a bit of a chunky book. It's over 500 pages. Mark did not hold back, but basically if you like liminal spaces and that sort of thing, you really dig this book. It's about this boy Kevin in the 90s, and each chapter really deals with a different kind of liminal space or a different kind of creature, a different monster. There's the groundskeeper at the school. There's the entity that they call the spilled hot dog man. And there's just a lot of strange things in here. And it's a really fun book, and I really dig it. And I think you all should buy it. It's on Amazon. Go check it out. They'll Get You by Mark Pellegrini. So, next I wanted to talk about, well, these three kind of go together because they're all from Paperbacks from Hell. Paperbacks from Hell, sort of, I guess, some people might call it mainstream. I don't call it too mainstream. This is more like midstream. A lot of these books in Paperbacks from Hell are obscure and only have recently come back into print, and these three all go together. But I think the very best one out of all the reissues, which I think I've read 10 or 12 maybe of the reissues. There's something like 20 books that have been in this Paperbacks from Hell line, but I think this one's the best one, and this is Let's Go Play at the Adams. It's the only book by the author Mendel W. Johnson, only book he ever published. Although I thought it was interesting after I read this and I was doing some research. I don't know if it's in the introduction of this book, or there's like a few websites, like when I googled this guy, Mendel W. Johnson, there's a few websites that have done some like deep dives into him, and somewhere I read that his family mentioned he had written maybe like 6 books, and they have no clue what happened to him. This was the only one that was published, and it's a pretty interesting book. It's about 275 pages, not a very thick read, but basically this group of kids they go insane, and they tie up the babysitter, as you can see by the cover art. They tie her up, they torture her, they do a bunch of crazy things. Very entertaining read. I really dig this one. This might be the best paperback from Hell. Either that one or this book by Elizabeth Engstrom called When Darkness Loves Us. Really cool doll on the cover. This book, and it's pretty slim too, is 2 novellas. I really dug the first one. The first one I started reading it and I almost couldn't stop. The second one's not bad, but I didn't really love it. I remember nothing about the second novella that is in this book. But the first one, it's really cool. Basically, this lady is pregnant. She gets trapped in this underground tunnel, and the novella just basically follows her and all her time underground, and the horrors that she faces down there, and her struggle to get out. And it's really neat, really interesting, and highly, highly recommend that one. And then third book I'll recommend from the Paperbacks from Hell reprintings are it's this book, The Reaping by Bernard Taylor. This is another pretty fun one that I read this one in like 2 days. I just started reading it and I couldn't stop. It's somewhat it's got like all the like horror cliches like thrown into one, like the like spooky old like manor or castle or whatever that the guy goes to. He's hired to he's a painter, and he's hired to just paint something for this strange family, and there's this castle and a whole bunch of spooky things that go on within it. and although it had all those cliches, it was just something about the writing. There's a few people that stand out from a few authors that stand out from this time, and most 80s horror novels and 70s, 80s into the 90s, those horror novels just there's a lot of just junk. And it's almost become a meme because the whole market's become a flippers market, and there are just the most god awful books that just poorly written, they're stupid, they make no sense, and because it's become a flippers market and everyone's after like the cool cover art and all that stuff, a lot of these dumb books that would have sold for 50 cents just 10 years ago now might sell for like $100, and they're so awful and poorly written. And I forget where exactly I was going with this, but I think I was just ranting. But Bernard Taylor he's a good author from this time when most of these books are just like absolutely trash. This one was really well written and interesting, so I recommend that one. And then we've got The Tenant by Roland Topper. I'm not sure how you say his name. It's a French name, but I really dug this book, and I love the movie too, starring and directed by Roman Polanski. But this book is about a guy that basically he moves into an apartment building, and he starts going crazy. He thinks he's becoming the previous tenant. There's a whole bunch of like absurd side characters and everybody that lives in the apartment. And it's a really interesting story. Next we've got Night Shift by Stephen King, the most mainstream book that's in here, but this is one that I went into not really knowing much about it. I didn't even know it was a short story collection when I bought it. When I started reading Stephen King, I started with Carrie, and I was kind of going in order, and I read his like first 3 books, and then I started skipping around, and one day I was bored at the mall and I was in the bookstore, and to be honest, I don't really buy many books from like a Barnes and Noble or a Books A Million. It's just too overpriced. I get most of my books on Amazon or eBay or maybe half price books if it's actually like half priced. Half price books is like double priced books now, but Night Shift, I just saw it and it was cheap. It was $9, and so I bought it. And I had no idea what I was in for, and it's honestly Uncle Stevie's best book. You guys should all know this by now, but 2 things with Stephen King, with Uncle Stevie. The older the better, and the shorter the better. And what older and what shorter than his first short story collection. It's just got so many great ones. I will say my favorite, it's a tie between the 2 that were in Cat's Eye, with The Ledge and with Quitters Inc. I'm not sure which one I like more. Maybe Quitters Inc. like just slightly, because it's kind of like such a wacky concept, but there's just so much good stuff in this, like The Mangler, The Boogeyman, Gray Matter, Trucks. Even Trucks was really good too. Some of these I don't remember, like Strawberry Spring. I don't remember that one, but like 9 out of 10 of these, they're just bangers. Quitters Inc., Children of the Corn, a 40-page short story. They got like 15 movies out of that. But yeah, and Lawnmower Man, oh my god, yeah. Night Shift, highly recommend. And anyone watching this that hasn't really read any Stephen King before, I would say start with Night Shift. Let's see what else we got here. We got Magic by William Goldman. William Goldman's a pretty interesting guy. He's written a few nonfiction books that I've read called Adventures in the Screen Trade. He's a really like Kino writer. He adapted Misery, and what else did he adapt? I swear, I think he adapted one more Stephen King property too, and I'm blanking on it. But he wrote Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, a whole bunch of like Kino movies, and with Magic, don't expect child's play, but it's always interesting when like a real like serious kind of writer or filmmaker has a take on horror. And Magic is not the scariest novel really at all, but it's got like cool creepy vibes for anybody that's just getting into horror and they're not sure where to start. I think Magic would be a good gateway because it's just well written. It's fun. It's interesting, and not that thick of a book. Maybe under 250 pages, and you'll just breeze right through it. William Goldman's really easy to read. And that brings us to The Haunting of Hill House, which is one of my favorite books of all time. I read one of those editions that you'll see at like a Target that has the like Netflix adaptation artwork, and I ended up finding this one for like $10 at Half Price Books a couple years ago. I really love this book. I love Shirley Jackson, and I just get really excited whenever I could revisit this book. There's just a lot in it, and Shirley Jackson, I guess I can't really call her unknown. I mean, she's definitely mainstream in a way, but I just feel I just don't see as many people talking about her. I think as there should be. It's just, you know, a lot of the times I'll see people talk about their top 10 horror novels, and they'll just list all the stuff you would expect. They'll put like 3 Stephen King novels up there. They might put Dracula up there, Frankenstein, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and Psycho, and they'll just put like all the popular stuff, and it ends up becoming a list of just mainstream. You know, you might see Clive Barker up there, and it's just too often I see people leave out Shirley Jackson. I mean, I don't think I'm putting anyone onto a hidden gem here, because it is Shirley Jackson, and she is pretty popular and pretty known, and this is her most famous book. But I just, I don't know. I just think as the years go on, she's kind of dwindled a little bit, and I just think more people should read this book. It's just a fun book. And that brings us to the last 2 recommends in this video, and they go hand in hand together, which is Rosemary's Baby by Ira Levin, as well as The Stepford Wives. Rosemary's Baby, great book and great movie. Basically, if you've read the book, you've seen the movie. If you've seen the movie, you've read the book. It's like they took the pages of the book and just stuffed it into the camera. But I really love this book. This is another one that I read over the course of 2 days, which does not happen for me. I probably read a book in 2 or 3 weeks between work and everything else. That's just how it averages out for me, you know, depending on the length and all that stuff and what I'm up to. But usually like 2 or 3 weeks it'll take me. But once in a while there's a book like this one where I just couldn't put it down for anything. I would skip any obligation I had, and I would avoid everything, and I would just read. And Rosemary's Baby is definitely one of them. Just such a well-written and fun book, and again, a pretty mainstream book, but one that I think really deserves all the hype that you see from it. And accompanying it, of course, is The Stepford Wives, which isn't, it's not necessarily a horror novel, but it's got some really spooky, eerie vibes to it, and I just think that if you read Rosemary's Baby, you really should just read The Stepford Wives right away. They just thematically, I just think they go hand in hand, and they're both so beautifully written, and just both a really good time, and just awesome cover art on this edition of Stepford Wives. I originally read some modern printing with terrible cover art, and then I found this for $5 at a Half Price Books, and so I got that, and I'm really happy with that. So yeah, guys, that was 10 gateway horror novels. Just something I thought would be cool to do. Thank you all for watching, and I think I'll have some more videos soon.